Hello, everyone, and welcome to the series analysis episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm with Alex Hong. The Mariners defeat the Astros 2 out of the 3 games. The third game leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but the first two were awesome. Luis Castillo does awesome. Alex, how do you feel about this series?
Yeah, hi Julian. I'm very, very happy with this series. We got exactly what we asked for in the pre-series analysis, where we wanted to take 2 out of 3 against this team because it would be big. Because one, we talked about how winning a game against the Astros is like winning 2 games because we win and the Astros lose. So we catch up with them in the division standings because we still definitely have a chance to win the division. So yeah, overall, these wins were really, really big coming up against a pretty good Astros team, and we played pretty well overall, I'd say. Um, the Astros actually got pretty injured. They were already injured coming in, but then Isaac Paredes did get injured as well. So this Astros team, honestly, talking about in the future, might be very like struggling and hindered at this point. So this is a big thing to keep in mind going forward about the strength of the Astros is a little questionable. But yeah. Julian, do you have any thoughts on how the players played in this series?
Yeah, offense played great. I just want to start with that. Offense was amazing. First game we score 6. Obviously the thing that won us the game was Castillo giving up. Wait, did Castillo give up the run or was it? I don't think it
Castillo
was.
gave up 0 runs
Yeah,
and 62
Castillo gave.
hits.
Yeah, Castillo doesn't give up the run, but the Mariners win it with the offense and the pitching. That was probably the most perfect game in this series. And then you go to the second game, offense clutches back up, comes from behind. Obviously, there are a little bit of lucky points in the game where the pitcher throws away the ball, we score, and we tie the game, go into extras, stuff like that. But the offense keeps on grinding and wins us the game. So that was awesome, especially in the start where Logan Evans was struggling, Carlos Vargas was struggling, and the bullpen comes back and starts shoving the Astros. The next game, Brian Woo's on the mound. You expect a little bit of security with Brian Wu, especially him being an all-star. He goes 6 innings, but he he tends to try to do too much when it comes to closing out the game. He always does great in the middle in the middle of the innings. Like the first inning, sometimes he does bad. Fifth and sixth inning, he tends to not be the best, but 2, 3, 4, he's always pretty good, locked in. This time it was 5 and 6, didn't play very well. Hunter Brown gives up 3 runs in the start of the game before Brian Wu gives up those 5 runs, and so I was I thought we were a little bit more locked in, but Brian Wu's going to have those games. He's not the perfect pitcher. Nobody is, but sometimes you're going to have the bad games and you're not going to win every game. So
Yeah, I'm not really worried about Brian Wu. I mean, he didn't have the best start, but no pitcher has like zero runs and like 8 innings like every game. So he was not really the problem at all. I would say he's not really like a problem. So I wouldn't really worry about him in the future. But overall, looking at how well the team played, overall, no one in the offense really like stood out as in like they won us the game. It's just all our players played either average or above average, and that was good enough to get us a good offensive production to win these games, which I think is actually big. So our team, we're not just relying on a few players like, oh, please, please hit the ball, right? Everyone basically contributed in somewhat in this series. So that was really, really good to see. Like it was like an actual team playing together rather than a few players trying to drag the team along to victory. So I would like that aspect. Um, so yeah, a few players to highlight, like Randy, he played good. He's been playing amazing like for the past like month. So I mean, no surprises there. Um, Cole Young got the walk-off, so that's his second walk-off this season, so good for him. Mitch Garver has turned the corner lately. He's been playing really, really well. I mean, this is big going forward. Like the days where we have to start Garver because Cal Raleigh can't catch aren't like, oh, okay, this guy can't hit. This is an automatic out. So it's nice not to have that feeling anymore with Garver. So that's really good. So yeah, overall, I was pretty happy with the offense and with the pitching in general. I was pretty happy. I'd say. Obviously, we talked about Castillo's dominant start. Evans wasn't too great, and Vargas wasn't great either. But in the second game, where that was a crazy game. First of all, the second Astros game, but the bullpen locked down like for basically the entire rest of the game, and they kept us in it for the offense to come back and end up winning. So yeah, overall, I mean, do you have any last thoughts on the Astros series?
Yeah, let me just point out that in the second game, I was looking at the top performers. That's the game that we won. Every single top performer, all three were Astros. It's like you got to put someone from the winning team. That's the top performer was the Seattle Mariners over the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
But but yeah, that was pretty fun. Dom Canzone's turning the corner. He's starting to hit the break, not just starting to, he's been hitting the breaking ball really well. Mitch Garver's starting to put in some power. The swings looking a lot better. Yeah, there are Mariners that are turning the corner. And then I think one thing that I want to highlight is Luke Raley is starting to not look as good offensively. He's he's not a very good defensive first baseman either because his primary position is outfield. He's not really a first baseman. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for Luke Raley. I hope he starts to play a little bit better, but so far he just hasn't been himself. So, but
hmm
speaking of good vibes and beating the Astros, we are facing some of the best vibes in the league in the 10 game winning streak Milwaukee Brewers. And so the Mariners are coming into this series. We've beat the Astros. We're looking to not just players turning the corner, but we as like the Mariners want to turn the corner and start to be this team that can grind and beat out wins against these top performing teams. So, Alex, how do you feel about this Milwaukee Brewers series?
Yeah, Julian, this series is going to be really, really difficult. So the Brewers have actually come back to where they're tied with Chicago, the Chicago Cubs, not the White Sox, the Cubs in the division, which is crazy because the Cubs had such a demanding lead earlier. And the Brewers in the last 10 games, they've swept the Dodgers twice. So these are really, really impressive wins they've had. I mean, winning 10 in a row in general is really hard, but when you beat the Dodgers and sweep them twice, like you gotta really, really, they are playing really, really well right now. And the primary reason why is the main part of their team that's really, really good is their pitching. And it's all aspects of their pitching. All their starters are really good. Now, we're not against their best starter, which is Freddie Peralta, which is a good thing. But honestly, that's hardly significant when the rest of their starters are just as good. We're against Mizorowski, who was also in the All-Star game. Um, he's the dominant force. Their closer was also in the All-Star game, Trevor McGill. So their bullpen, they have a lot of sub 3 ERA pitchers. So they if we go into like the seventh, eighth, and ninth inning, their bullpen comes out, we're down like 5 runs. It's going to be very hard for us to come back in this series. So a key thing I think the Mariners have to do is our pitching has to lock in. If our pitching gives up like 5 and 6 runs, it's going to be very hard for our offense to do that much damage against this really, really good team.
Yeah, this so the pitching staff, this Seattle Mariners pitching staff at its core is one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. There's no question about that. They were last year. And even though we've lost a few or we've lost Bryce Miller, we've lost the dominance of Logan Gilbert and George Kirby in 2025. I think we still have that core pitching staff in place to be to keep the Milwaukee Brewers in check. The Milwaukee Brewers haven't been that good offensively. Obviously, they're not bad, but they're average. They're probably slightly below average offensively. And so if the pitching staff can lock in, our offense can start pounding down runs. We can beat out runs even if the pitchers are good. I think our offense has the ability to still get those base hits. Maybe like if it's a pitching duel, maybe 2 to 3 runs will do. That might be all it takes to win a game. And so that's all our team needs. And especially because the Mariners are a home run team, one home run gives you the run. And I think the Mariners are positioned decently well to win this Milwaukee Brewers series. It's just the Milwaukee Brewers have been really, really hot lately. They've won 10 in a row, obviously. So, Alex, my question to you is how many runs do you think it takes to beat a pitcher like Jacob Mizorowski?
Well, I mean, Jacob Mizorowski will not play the entire game, but I feel like if we want to beat him, like beat the Brewers in general, our team probably it depends on how our pitching staff plays, honestly. I mean, if our pitching staff is giving up like 6 or 7 runs, I don't see like a good way of winning this game at all, or winning any game with Mizorowski starting at all. I mean, it's really really important when I say this. I really think the pitching staff has to lock in this series. If they do not, the Brewers offense isn't even that bad. Like they haven't been playing that well overall as a season. They're probably like an average offense, but lately they've been a really good offense. They've been playing, all their players have been playing pretty well. They have some big names like Christian Yelich. He's been a good name for a while. They have Jackson Chirino. William Contreras hasn't played as well this season, but he's still like he was really good last year. So they have potential players who are really good. So it's not like their offense is sleeping the entire game. So if our pitching staff decides to take a nap in an inning and to give up like 5 runs, it's gonna be really hard for us. But to answer your question, I think we probably need to get at least like maybe like 4 runs, I'd say 3 to 4 runs to at least have a chance, I think, to win the game.
So is that do you think that's with all the pitchers, not just Jacob Mizorowski? You need 4 runs to win the game.
Well, it honestly depends, like I said, on how well our pitcher plays. I mean, if it's a difficult question, it just depends on how well our pitchers play. I think if we get a few runs on Mizorowski, like if we get like 3 runs on Mizorowski, we have a chance to win the game. Like
Okay.
maybe even 2 runs. But if he shuts us out, it's gonna be really hard for us to win the game.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts?
I basically said everything that I think we need to win the game is our offense. Our offense just needs to try to play its best, right?
Yeah.
And take advantage of mistakes, like you said. Our team is good with the home run ball. So if like any of the pitchers just leave one right down the middle, we have to take advantage of it. I don't see us scoring too many runs in this series typically, like because not only even if their starters have a bad game, their bullpen's pretty good as well. So this is why I think it's gonna be difficult to score. And their offense lately against the Dodgers, like against the Dodgers, both series they've scored around. In the first series they scored a little more than the second series, but they have the potential to score like 8 and 6 runs. And the Dodgers have a pretty good pitching staff. So yeah, overall, the pitching I think really has to lock in, and then we have to pray our offense is able to take advantage of the Brewers' mistakes.
Okay. So I think that's it. Thank you everyone for watching. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. And as always, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.